welcomed into your home and your place of residence. We are live here. We are talking about the stock market and what a day it has been. As soon as the ceasefire in Iran was called yesterday, the stock market futures just took off. And today we've had a really great day in the stock market. The Dow Jones finished up over 1,300 points. S&P over 165 points, which is a huge move for the S&P 500. The Nasdaq up 600 points. Just really, if you're the person that has been really looking at your 401k over the last few weeks and saying, oh my gosh, I have lost a lot of money, you probably have recouped. I would say about some of that back. We still have a long ways to go, but that is a good indication. And what is going to happen from this? Will this continue? Will this ceasefire continues? I don't think it will. I think this is a head fake. You have to understand the policies of Iran. I think Iran is just buying time. This is saying that if you're a country that's really ready to send your people to be a human shield to these factories, then you have to really figure out that they're not really in it for peace. So, and I also think that a lot of this is just a waiting game for them to just delay. This is the one thing they understand: the American president cycle. A lot of these things that happen, they just delay things for years and years because they know the president can't be there forever. Donald Trump was decisive. Many do not agree with his decision, how he handled this. Many people disagree. There's certain things that I'm like questioning, like, what was the point of it? Now, we have to understand that we have a president now that does a lot of his bidding on social media. So everything gets really monitored and scrutinized at a really high level. Now, many people feel like, okay, I like the candidate and I don't like this candidate. So wherever you feel in the spectrum, I always tell people you look at what the economy is doing, and no matter who's in office, you can benefit from a financial perspective, either in the stock market or in real estate. During the Obama years, the President Obama years, during President Bush, you saw that real estate was one of the biggest cogs until the real estate crash. But then in the second or third year of President Obama's term, you started seeing real estate really taking off. So that was a big thing. If you were an investor during that time, you really have done very well on your investments in real estate. I have been investing in real estate for over since 2012. I started investing in the stock market in 2008 around the time of the crash, and then I did pretty well, and I just took the stuff that I learned and just God opened doors for me, and then I just fell in love with real estate also. So I love investing in the stock market. I love investing in real estate, and we're seeing that the U.S. government can really, they're in a really a precipitous place. They're in a place of indecision. The United States is in a place where any news can tank this economy. Any news that is favorable can really be bullish. Like what we just saw in the last day and a half is a testament of what really happens in the stock market. Thursday and Friday of last week, we were just getting decimated. And then with one click of a button, one quick tweet or truth statement, and the stock market took off. So what you're starting to see is that many of the headline risk is really all played out in social media. So we are not out of the woods. Iran did call for a ceasefire, but there's a lot of rhetoric that is coming out of Iran that's not peaceful, that doesn't look like it's in good favor or it's in a good gesture for peace. I believe they're still delaying. What could this be? Maybe something that would help. I don't know, but I'm all for peace. There's many other countries in the Middle East that don't want war. This is something that really is, it's a regional issue and it's a global issue. Now with the Strait of Hormuz now opening, you're starting to see that future stocks on oil futures have gone down. If you were shorting the oil futures, you've done pretty well, especially if you shorted it from yesterday to today. You are doing pretty well. The kind of went down to the $96 range, went down. Could it go back down to 75? That is a question that many people are seeing. Could it happen? Anything changes over the next day or in the next 10 days, any little blip of uncertainty, the market is going to tank. We are not over the headwinds that we're facing. Now, is this a good place to maybe stop some of the bleeding and maybe take off in the stock market? Perhaps. Is it going to happen? Nobody knows. No one knows what Iran is going to do. No one knows what our president is going to do. So we're at a place where either both got to do well and be uh, try to work for the good of their people. So I totally get that. So I want to look at a couple of things here. I want to share something. So let me change my layout too. Let's look at some charts. All right. So let's look at the S&P 500. We're looking at the S&P 500. Look at this big candlestick up today. That is a huge move. This is something that I will look at a pattern like this, and also in the Dow Jones, also in the Nasdaq, where you're going to see if the stocks take off, and if we do come right back down, these gaps are going to get filled. These are things that you have to look for in the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the Nasdaq. You're going to see tremendous gaps that were formed. These gaps generally get filled. Not always right immediately. Some of it could be months away, some of it could be weeks away, some of it could be days away. But this is something that we want to consider while we're doing this. Now, the NASDAQ finished strong today, 700 points. It had this big candlestick, even though it looks red right now. Got to look at what happened at the end of the market. But this is a huge shot up right here. We had a huge day in the NASDAQ, something really good there. The Dow Jones, again, what a bullish circle that we had right here. So I was saying if the Dow Jones fell in this range right here, we could go down. It was very close to it, then it just bounced off of it. This is a range that I am really looking at and monitoring very close. The Dow Jones could take off now. The next place for the Dow Jones is going to be back at the $50,000 mark. If we see that, that'll be a strong move for the US economy. The VIX down with all the volatility, that's always a good thing for the VIX. Let's look at Apple stock. So Apple had it went into this range a couple of days ago where the market just dropped, it just tanked, and then just took off today. So you're starting to see a lot of stocks are in the same range. These are lines that I've had for months, and I am looking that still Apple is still a great buy. If you're looking for long term, now if it goes back down, I will consider this stock right here. It's one of those that I like. I'm bullish on Apple, and I'm thinking that this is a long term play. If you're a long term investor, if you're the person that is patient, you're saying to yourself, I'm more of the 10-year, 15, 20, 25-year plan. I would look at a stock like Apple and load up on it. There's certain things that if you put 10, 15,000, 20,000 in a stock like this and leave it for 15, 20 years, some of these stocks right here turn into 1,000x growth, which is one of those things that if you would have invested $10,000, $15,000 in Nvidia 15 years ago, you have by $1.6 million today. So that's one of the things about being long term. It's just like buying real estate. How many of you wished you bought real estate during 2009, 2010, 2011 when there were so many foreclosures? When times are tough, that's when you buy it. That's the thing that most people look at these opportunities and say, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. No, when the stock market or real estate falls, it's opportunity. Why? Because you're getting stuff at a discount. And that's what we're doing with the stock market here. We're getting stuff at a discount. Apple, to me, is at a discount price right now. Tesla. Tesla again is in a very important place. Right here, this is a place where this could keep continue to go down to the downside. To me, and this is the play, Tesla is going to have a tough time with reporting earnings over the next 2 to 3 quarters. I don't see really Tesla taking off either. If something with the robot really takes off, I get the IPO with SpaceX. I get that part, but Tesla itself, uh, Elon Musk's compensation package is tied to Tesla stock doing well. I believe that Tesla will transition from a car company to a robotic company. That's my belief. I'm an opinionator. I don't have like facts, or I'm not a researcher. I don't have a degree from MIT. I don't have none of that. I'm just an observer. I'm an opinionator. And if you look at what we're seeing right now with technology, what I believe Tesla's doing is almost like what, as a kid, I used to watch a cartoon called The Jetsons, and many of you remember Rosie the robot. And I think that Tesla is going to be where Optimus is going to have, we're going to eventually have a robot in our homes that will be like a housekeeper. And I really do believe that. We're moving fast. And I think a lot of shows like the Jetsons and stuff like that, that many of us would thought were just far out thoughts, are really coming to fruition in real time. So Tesla, I'm bullish long term, but I'm also short term. This stock is actually on a short side for me. Netflix, again, I've been bullish on this company. This is one of the few stocks over the last five weeks that's kind of stayed somewhat bullish. So Netflix has really defied a lot of these uh a lot of these moves in the stock market. Netflix has really defied a lot of these moves. Basically, it has stayed mostly positive for the last 5 weeks. One of the few. Gold. Gold again took off. It took off about 22 points, not precipitous, but it was a good move up. Silver again hanging around that $70, $75 range. Could it stay there? Could this be the new price point for silver? One would only hope. Let's look at other stuff here. Russell 2000, I'm in a bull put spread. I'm in the 2195, a vertical spread on the 2200 1995 on on the Russell 2000. I've done well. Expiration is next week. I may sell it early and buy it back for 1 cent. But basically, I've been doing credit spreads on the Russell 2000 while all this topsy turvy stuff is kind of really moving. I am looking to be more moving up, like now looking into the 2300 range, move up my and kind of give me like that 300 point buffer, just in case if something were to happen, I can actually just either do a butterfly and fix the credit spread, or just kind of just do something different, or just get out of it altogether. But the Russell 2000 doing very well. QQQ is one of those. I wish I was in the queues today. I was not in the queues, and I normally trade them. So, you guys want to hear a funny story? I wanted to get into the queues at the end of the market day yesterday, and I lost track of time. And before I turned around, it was 4:11, and I thought it was like 3 o'clock. So I missed this move, but yeah, It coulda, shoulda, woulda. There's always going to be other plays, but if you find that there's going to be more headline risk news, the Qs is another place to play to the downside. If we change our approach with Iran, or if things changes with Iran, you could look at the Qs to either go back down. But again, we're following the Nasdaq. Amazon had a pretty decent day. So I thought Amazon closed up. We closed up 7 points or a little over 7 points today. Had a good day. Amazon is one of those stocks long term. This is a great buy. Oklo. Oklo to me is in a buy range. If you're bullish on energy, if you're bullish on energy, Oklo's where it's at. Now, it has precipitously gone down since the highs of September and October of last year. But this is again goes to the issue of what I've talked about in my last broadcast, which is we don't have enough nuclear power. Yes, we want to build new nuclear power. Yes. But the problem is, this is a 3 to 10 year project. And couple that with all the regulations and red tape from the EPA, it makes building a nuclear plant makes them take so long to do it. So I'm bullish on the energy sector, but we don't have enough. We're either going to have to fight this a different way, which is, I believe, and this is opinion, while nuclear power is getting built, we're going to be looking at coal power again. We're going to be looking at things that we've already used before. And I think coal is going to be a big thing coming back if we really use it correctly. Oklo Nextera is one of those that also, like with Oklo, I'm bullish on this company. So this company is one that is in a consolidation range right now. I like this company. It's to me is, you see these little marks right here? These are not bad places to do vertical spreads. Now, while you're waiting for this to take off or go down, you can trade either direction. I'm bullish on Nextera. I think it's a more solid company than most of the other ones. There are other good companies out there, but I'm bullish on Nextera Energy. So I know a lot of other traders are bullish on it. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia, you've been in no person's land. You kind of actually, yeah, you just broke the range. Okay, cool. I like it. So Nvidia could be, I'm not saying it is, it could be in a buy range right now. It is this area right here. It was been consolidating since July of last year. Think of this. It took off from that May when Nvidia was just the darling, from May of March of 2025, took off and just breathing right now. So you have to look at not all stocks just go straight up. And that's where you start seeing that certain stocks need to take breathers. And Nvidia right now is taking a big breather. So this would be one of those stocks that I would either add cautiously, or you could look at, if you're trading this with stock, then I will also have put insurance on it. If you're doing just straight directional trades, I'm not a fan of it right now because of option how much the theta they suck out. The just the all the premium that they put in it, they just suck it out. So basically, I like this stock, but it's almost cautiously. If the stock market turns around, this could be a head fake right now. So that's where I like Nvidia, but I'm also cautious on it. Let me look at MBIS. Okay. This one right here is very choppy. Kind of looks like the last slide that we look at. A lot of these stocks look the same, but just very choppy. I'll probably pass on this one right now. UUU, Energy Fuels. I know a lot of people that are bullish on this stock. So this would be one that, if you have long term investment power and long versus investment like mentality, this would be one that I would consider having in your portfolio. I also want to look at, I want to look at some headlines, some CNBC, just kind of see what they have. This is the stuff, like, you see a story like this. The US has Iran. US has violated ceasefire agreement. Iran's uh, parliamentary speaker says. This is the stuff that is it true? And I don't know. And that's the stuff, is you never know, like, where a lot of this stuff comes from. You get a lot of people that basically want to spew information. Is it true? I don't know. And that's where you start seeing that a lot of things, like, uh, there's so much headline risk, even over the next few days on the stock market. We're not just going to simply just take off. That is not the case. That's not the way the stock market works. Think of it as life. You have good days, you have bad days. And then you have some really good days, and then you have some few weeks of, like, what's going on? The stock market is just like life. And that's when you start seeing that, as you focus on your financial freedom, as you focus on the things that God has called you to do, you start seeing that you could set yourself up and your family for financial freedom. And this is the thing, as many Christians, many people don't like talking about money in the church world, and I get it. There's many people that have taken advantage of it. There's many people that have said a lot of things in the name of the Lord, and many people have certain feelings about it. Now, we need money to survive, point blank. You and I need money to survive. I'm Hispanic, but you know what? I don't have a cousin in the mortgage office where I pay my mortgage to, that's going to give me a discount. I don't get a discount at that. I got to pay bills just like you do too. And we look at the economy, and we look at the things that we're doing to invest for the long term. You don't need hundreds, millions of dollars to start investing. With like 10, 15, 20, $30, you could start investing. Now, think of this, that when you're buying stock, you're buying a small piece of a business. You're buying a business. When you are a shareholder, even if you buy one share, you're a shareholder, you're an owner of a McDonald's share. You're an owner. So the thing is, with stocks, if you play the long-term game and not wanting to make overnight money, you'll do so much better than most people who are trying to make a quick buck. Trading and investing is a long-term sport. There's no overnight money. And as you're an entrepreneur who's really ready to do kingdom work, you have to understand that God has called you for such a time as this. Many of you feel like that you're inadequate, or that you don't have everything or all your ducks in a row. But I'm here to tell you that that God has given you every tool you need to complete your assignment. And this is the thing, is many of you may not have money, but you have work ethic. Many of you may not have this, but you have ideas. Many of you may not have something else, but you know how to bring people together. And business is all about teamwork. There's no such thing as a solo entrepreneur. I mean, there's people that try to do things on their own, but I myself, even though I have a small little business, what I do, but I need other people to grow. Like, I'm not out fixing stuff. I got people that are working on our projects right now, because we need other people. And the thing is, the pie is not small. The more people you help, the bigger the pie gets. That's God's economy. Many people think that there's scarcity, and there is no such thing as scarcity in God's economy. There's enough for everyone. That's why is we are bound by the curse of the land, which is by the sweat of your brow you'll eat bread. To me, that's God's mercy saying, hey, you sinned, but you know what? By the sweat of your brow you eat bread. The garden used to give you what you needed. Now I have given you to get from the garden out of it what you need, which is totally different. Many people have this utopian feeling of, hey, like living on paradise, like not doing anything. God didn't design us to just sit around. It sounds beautiful to be socialist. Oh, the government pays for everything. You know what? Socialism has a place in heaven, just not on earth. Before the curse, God says, I'll take care of you. I'm going to give you everything. After the curse, now you got to work for it. Totally different mindsets. And so as you're starting to see now, God is looking for people who's going to serve him in spirit and in truth. God is looking for entrepreneurs that will go out there to the world and proclaim his name in the business setting. So as you find yourself today, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal, and I hope you have a phenomenal evening. I'll keep you updated on the stock market updates. So hope to see you guys. Talk to you soon. If you have not yet subscribed or share, please do so. Every person that clicks like helps my channel, and I'm trying to grow this channel.